This episode is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the #1 seller of games and gaming accessories. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 resource for Magic the Gathering news and articles.
Hi, I'm David, and this is my Kresh the Bloodbraided Commander deck. This is Kresh. He's 2 black, red, green for a 3/3 legendary creature, Human Berserk. Whenever a creature dies, it's put into a graveyard from play. You may put X +1/+1 counters on Kresh the Bloodbraided, where X is that creature's power. So this kind of defines the whole playstyle of the deck. You want to have lots of creatures dying all the time, so that Kresh grows big, and really, really big. Then we have 9 swamps. Four mountains. 5 forests, and that's just about it for the basic lands. Command Tower. This is complete staple in EDH. I have no idea how my deck would work without this. Kazandu Refuge. Gives me 2 colored mana, plus gives me 1 life. Always good. Jund Panorama fetches any of my colors. Super useful. Evolving Wilds fetches me any basic land. Rogue's Passage. This works exceptionally well when Kresh is very big and you want to swing at somebody. It has that second ability, where you pay 4 and target creature is unblockable until the end of the turn, so it's a free swing and you can just kill somebody with it. Gruul Guildgate. It's a worse version of Stomping Grounds. Doesn't shock, enters the battlefield tapped all the time, but offers me green-red. Temple of the False God. 2 colorless, never hurts. Golgari Guildgate, it's a worse version of what's it called? Overgrown Tomb. Offers me green-black. Grim Backwoods. This can give me a draw if I want to. I just sack a creature. If Kresh is on the field, he grows, and I draw. Perfect. And it's a land, so it's hard to destroy. Terramorphic Expanse. This fetches me any basic land. Kher Keep. This offers me fodder for Skull Clamp, or it helps me get counters on Beastmaster Ascension. So essentially, it's a dark-producing land, which is good, for only 2 mana. Rakdos Guildgate, a worse Blood Crypt. Akoum Refuge, equal to Kazandu Refuge, but in Rakdos colors. Kessig Wolf Run, serves a similar purpose to Rogue's Passage, but offers trample and +X+O. Still very good. Savage Lands, it enters the battlefield tapped and offers me any color my deck needs. Also good. It's almost like a second worse version of Command Tower. Bojuka Bog, Grave Hate at its finest. Exiles all cards from a player's graveyard, doesn't target the player, so it goes over Shroud, and all that kind of things, and it gives me black mana. Always good. Now on to the creatures. We have Sakura-Tribe Elder. This is perhaps one of the best creatures this deck could ever have. It's only a 2 for a 1/1. Sack it, you fetch a basic land from your deck, and you put it into the battlefield tapped. It's excellent. Plus, you can recur it and sack it again and again and again. Golgari Guildmage. It's a 2 for 2/2. This is more fodder for anything, and it's an early blocker if necessary. Korozda Guildmage offers +1/+1 and Intimidate. It's another evasion tactic for Kresh. Or if somebody tries to take control of your things, you just sack them and you just get Saprolings, which is good. Sorry, some of my cards are in different languages. This is Scavenging Ooze. This is the quintessential Grave Hate card. You play 1 green, you exile 1 card from a graveyard. If that card is a creature, you put a +1/+1 counter on this card, and you gain 1 life. So much value. Varloz, the Scar Strip. This guy was Golgari's champion, or maze runner. 3 for a 2/2 legendary creature. Each creature in your graveyard has Scavenge, and Scavenge is equal to its mana cost. Scavenge is, you pay its mana cost, you exile it, you put X +1/+1 counters on this guy, or any other guy, where X is the exiled creature's power. So I sack my creatures, plus I give +1/+1 counters to somebody. I wonder who. Plus it has sacrifice a creature, regenerate him. This guy, beastly. Burnished Hart. I consider this to be another staple in EDH. 3 for a 2/2 artifact creature. Pay 3, sack it. You fetch 2 basic lands from your graveyard and from your deck and put them into play tapped. Beast. It gives you 2 mana advantage. It's perfect. Shattergang Brothers. This is a Grave Pact on legs that also affects artifacts and enchantment. First cost, pay 3, sacrifice a creature, each other player sacrifices a creature. It's 1 black and 2. If you do that with 1 red and 2, you sacrifice an artifact and everybody else sacrifices an artifact. This is great to destroy that Darksteel Forge that makes every artifact someone owns indestructible. And last, you do the same but for enchantments, so you just ruin someone's enchantments. Asceticism, I'm looking at you. Jarad, Golgari Lichlord. 4, 2 black and 2 green for a 2/2. He gains +1/+1 for each creature in your graveyard. 1 black, 1 green. You sacrifice another creature. Each other player loses life, equal to the sacrificed creature's power. It's another way to use Kresh to your advantage. Kresh grows. You kill Kresh, everybody dies because they lose, say, 40 life, 30 life, 20 life. Excellent. Plus, he can recur himself. Sacrifice a forest and a swamp. He goes from your graveyard to your hand. Excellent. Reaper of the Wilds. Whenever another creature dies, you scry 1. Plus, he can gain hexproof and or death touch. This is just top deck control in Golgari without having to pay a gazillion dollars for Sensei's Divining Top. Excellent. Michaeloth. This guy is a sprawling creation factory. 5 for a 4/4, Devour 2. When at the beginning of your upkeep, you put X 1/1 green sprawlings onto the battlefield, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on him. Remember Varloz? Well, he can help you produce more sprawlings. Kazul, Tyrant of the Cliffs. 5 for a 5/4 legendary creature, Ogre Warrior. This is red propaganda, so to speak. It does the same thing, but whenever someone attacks you, for each creature that is attacking you, unless they pay 3, you put a 3/3 red ogre creature token. You get more fodder, you get more creatures. This guy in this deck, excellent. Usually people just bolt him out of the way. Or destroy him, or exile him. Master of Cruelties. This guy. So hated. 5 for a 1/4, Death Touch, First Strike. So, he's already an excellent blocker. Then, he must attack alone. If he attacks and isn't blocked, defending player's life gets reduced to 1 life. Period. Done. It usually means that player's gonna die the next turn. This is excellent. Bloodgift Demon. Well, I have a Phyrexian Arena in the deck. Why not have a second Phyrexian Arena with wings? Excellent. Kalonia Hydra. You see Kresh? You see all those counters on Kresh? Now you see double of them. And on her as well. Kessig Cagebreakers. Remember all those non-token creatures I sacrificed? Good. Now you see 1 2/2 wolf, creature token on the battlefield attacking you for each one of them in my graveyard. Just beastly. Mikaeus and Hallowed. This is a no mercy for humans on legs, gives Intimidate to all my non-human creatures, and gives, what's it called? Undying to all my non-human creatures. It works on just about any creature on the deck except him and Kresh. Still, amazing. Visara the Dreadful. Destroys things on sight. Period. Harvester of Souls. He's a 5/5 demon with Death Touch. Whenever another non-token creature dies, I may draw a card. Remember all those sack engines? Now they're extra draws. Prosh, Skyraider of Kher. This guy is very interesting. 6 for a 5/5 flyer. When he enters the battlefield, you put X 0/1 red kobolds. X is how much mana you paid for him. Sacrifice another creature, he gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. Just him and Kresh are best buddies. Dragon Broodmother. 6 mana, 2, 3 red, 1 green. She's a 4/4 flyer. At the beginning of each upkeep, yours and of your opponents, you put on the battlefield 1 creature token, a 1/1 flying Devourer 2. So, I don't know, in a 4-player game, each cycle of turns actually, you put 4 of them. Then you can use them to kill other people and make them big and strike people. I love this card. Usually dies very quickly. Sheoldred, Whispering One. Another lightning rod for all the removal on the table. She's 7 for a 6/6 Swamp Walk. Let me see. Oh, right. At the beginning of my upkeep, I can get 1 creature card from my graveyard to the battlefield. At the beginning of the upkeep of each of my opponents, that player must sacrifice 1 creature. Keeps everybody in check. There are no kiki-jiki, blah 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 shenanigans now. Actually they are, but who cares? Avatar of Woe. Costs 8 mana for a 6/5. However, she can cost only the 2 black mana if there are 10 or more creature cards in all graveyards. Fairly easy. It has Fear and tap, destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. She is Visara's youngest sister. Oldest, actually. Now onto the artifacts. Soul Ring. Enough said. Oh, I must warn you, I'm sorry, I have some proxies. This is one of my proxies. I'm trying to buy them, kinda hard. Skull Clamp. See all those Saprolings and Kobolds? They die. They give you cards. They give Kresh more power. This is just perfect for the deck. Perfect. Armillary Sphere. I consider this a staple for any deck that doesn't run a lot of ramp, because it is a Burnished Hart without legs that puts the mana or the lands into your hand. It's not as good as Burnished Hart, but still, it's very good for color fixing. Swiftfoot Boots. Sometimes I want to protect my commander once he enters the field. Or Visara, or any creature I deem interesting or important at the time. Very good. Lightning Reaves. It's the same but different. It gives Shroud, but haste. And costs 0 to equip. Just very good. Darksteel Ingot. This card survives any board wipe. And it's a mana rock for any color of mana, so just very good. Whispersilk Cloak. It's the equipment that does the same as Rogue's Passage. It gives Shroud and unblockability to the equipped creature. Kresh likes wearing this. Obelisk of Jund. It's a mana rock for the colors of the deck. Chromatic Lantern. My lands now produce any color of mana, so goodbye color fixing. Another proxy, I'm sorry. Oblivion Stone. For 8 mana, you board wipe. Period. Or you can just waste some time and protect some of the important things. Very good. Another proxy. Birthing Pod. This is the quintessential card for the deck, because even if I don't have green mana, I pay 2 life. This enters the battlefield. I can pay another 2 life, 1, sack a creature, go get another creature. This deck doesn't have the best pot chains, but this is very useful. If somebody just, tucks Kresh, you kill Jarad, go get Kresh. Now Kresh is useless because somebody put a pacifism on him. You kill Kresh, you go get, let's see, Visara, for instance. So much value on one card. This is beastly. Chroma's Memorial. It's in French. It's so fancy. Makes every one of my little creatures an Achroma, except for the power and toughness. I'm looking at Kresh, and I'm seeing him flying, trampling, hasting, with protection from some colors. Just, I love this card. Now on to the enchantments. Necrogenesis. I hate your graveyard, I hate the creatures in your graveyard, they are now Saprolings on my field. Very good. This should be a rare card. Phyrexian Arena. At the beginning of my upkeep, I lose 1 life, and I draw an extra card. I thought this was a bad card. Now, I can't get enough of it. This is the best draw enchantment in black, for me. Beastmaster Ascension. This card has offered me some really cool shenanigans. Remember Kher Keep? I put 1/0/1 Kobold on the turn of the guy before me. This is on the field. I attack that guy with the 0/1. After 2 turns, or 3 turns, that guy is now being swarmed with 5/6 Kobolds. This card is excellent. Underworld Connections makes one of my lands a Phyrexian Arena on demand. Putrefy. Blowing up a creature or artifact. Instant speed. Very useful. What is this doing here? Oh well. Grave Pact. If my creatures die, each one of my opponents sacrifices 1 creature. See all those sack engines? I tutor, you sacrifice. I draw, you sacrifice. Excellent. Doubling Season. Doubles the number of tokens I put on the field, and the number of +1/+1 counters I put on my permanents. It also doubles the -1/-1 counters from Black Sun Zenith, and other mean things. Good card, but it's somewhat of a double-edged sword. If used wisely, excellent, usually doesn't last on the board more than 1 turn. Death Presence. All my creatures are like Kresh, only for my own creatures. Still, very good. Now to the instance. Putrefy should be here. Terminate. Blows up a creature. 2 mana. Done. Redboar. You see that Venser about to ultimate? Now you don't. Jund Charm. I want to see your graveyard go, or I want to kill everything that has 2 or less power. Harrow. You kill one of your lands, you fetch 2 lands. Hang on, I think I missed something here. My bad. This is not Dreadboar, this is Rakdos Charm. Breaks an artifact or exiles someone's graveyard. More graveyard hate. Sorry. Now on to the Planeswalkers. Garruk Wildspeaker. His +1 is untap 2 target lands. -1, you put a 3/3 beast token. -4, overrun. You see Doubling Season, it doubles the counters on this thing. So it's turn 4, overrun. Very good. Sarkhan Vol. +1, all my creatures gain +1/+1 and haste until the end of the turn. -2, I threaten one of your creatures until the end of the turn, and it's mine. -6, I put 5 flying dragons that are 4/4s. I've done this with Doubling Season on the field, and it's, okay, Sarkhan Vol enters the field. Okay, I put 10 4/4 flying dragons. Goodbye. Liliana Vess. This seems like an odd choice, but think about it. I have some recursion, so her +1 won't have to target an opponent. Her -2 is a tutor, And her -8 is a Rise of the Dark Realms. I just take all the creatures from all the graveyards and they are all mine. She draws major hate. Another proxy, I'm sorry. Vraska the Unseen. Her +1 is negligible to some extent, but her -3 is I destroy anything, period. What reason is there not to use her more often? She's excellent. Sorcery time. Green Sun Zenith. I go grab a creature, and this goes back into my library. Excellent. Dreadbore. Sorry. Blows up a creature or a planeswalker. This is the father of Hero's Demise. Still love it a lot more. The art is sick. Black Sun Zenith. It's a board wipe that kills indestructible creatures and sometimes lets Kresh live and then gets back to my library so I can use it again and again and again and again. This is the demise of all the gods on the field. Cultivate. Ramp. Done. Guys of Granite. Another board wipe. A little more selective. Very good. Kadama's Reach. It's a copy of Cultivate. More ramp. Chain Reaction. Well, this requires some explaining since I run the 2 red board wipe-ish effects for a very simple reason. Sometimes Kresh can survive the board wipe, grow massively, and then swing back at someone. Think about it. Kresh is on the field, has more toughness than the number of creatures that are on the field. I throw this onto the field. All the other creatures die. Kresh grows a lot. Someone is going to die. Very interesting. Go tutor X cards. You see that birthing pod and all those chains? This goes gets them. Increasing Ambition. This usually serves as fodder for Liliana's +1. I discard this. A couple of turns later, I have a double tutor for its flashback cost. Very interesting. Demonic Collusion. This one's in Portuguese. It has a buyback of discard 2 cards. It's a tutor. Period. So I throw this on the field, discard 2 creatures, this comes back to my hand, and I have fodder for whatever I want. Very good. Decree of Pain. It destroys everything that can't be regenerated, and then I draw a ton of cards. This is a very cool board wipe, especially when combined with Army of the Damned. Costs 8 mana, 3 black and 5, gives me 13 2/2 zombies. They enter the field tapped, no problem. Remember Jund Charm? Think of Kresh. Kresh is a 3/3. These are 2/2s. I throw Jund Charm on the field. All of these guys die. Kresh gains 26 +1/+1 counters. Totally worth it. Just totally worth it. And you can do it again a couple of turns later. Yay! Blasphemous Act. 13 damage to all creatures. Costs 1 less for each creature on the field. Has the same reasoning behind Chain Reaction. Kresh can survive this. Kresh will grow after this. Kresh will kill someone after this. If I have a Chroma's Memorial on the field, the damage will not affect my creatures, because I have protection from red. So, all your creatures take 13 damage, mine are safe. Now onto those weird cards I don't know where to put, whether they are enchantments or artifacts, so they have a special category. Weapons of the Gods. Bow of Nylea. All my attacking creatures have Death Touch. 1/1 green tapped. Choose 1. 2 damage to a creature with flying. A +1/+1 counter onto one of my creatures. I gain 3 life, or I put up to 4 cards from my graveyard on the bottom of my library. The versatility on this thingy is immense. This is a very good artifact. I'd run it on every red-green deck I have. And finally, Whip of Erebus. My creatures have lifelink, which is good, considering this deck doesn't have much defense, and there are some taxing effects like Unroll Connections, Phyrexian Arena, Bloodgift Demon, so it's good to have some lifelink. And it has you pay 2 black, tap. This, I'm sorry, can only be activated at sorcery speed, but you put 1 creature from your graveyard onto the field. It gains haste. At the beginning of your end step, it is exiled. And if it would go anywhere else, say your hand, the graveyard, your library, your opponent's control, it will be exiled. It gives a second life to my creatures on the field, on the graveyard I mean, so yeah, this is very good. Well guys, this is my deck. This has been CMDR Decks. I hope you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and don't forget to favorite.